No spoilers. I haven't seen this. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening. All right. Where's the play button?
All right. And maybe I can turn the camera on.
Is there a volume on
There
this?
we go. Hello. Hello. Do I have everyone on the call here today?
Yes, you do.
How you doing? Mark and James, welcome to the program. We're here to talk about winning. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing all day today.
Well, it always feels good to win.
Yeah, it's been a week nonstop. I lost track of all the wins we've had.
Dick sounds so excited. He sounds like someone who's been winning a lot.
Right?
So, yeah, I mean, there's
There it
a
is.
lot of wins all over the place.
Nick, are you familiar with Nick Rekieta?
Yes.
The cocaine kingpin of Minnesota?
I suppose that's what they're calling him online.
Yeah, we can call him that now. We don't have to pretend that he's not a major player in the blow trafficking industry now that he's free, now that he's taken the plea deal.
Did you hear about that, TJ? The plea deal with Nick Rekieta?
No.
So apparently he's got a plea deal, and if he completes the things in the plea deal, then it gets completely expunged from his record. He doesn't get charged with a felony. There's no felony on his record. And from some tweets that he's made, he's implying at least that perhaps he's either finished or pretty much finished with the things and he needs to do to fulfill the plea agreement. So he'll be free with no felony, with nothing, which is what I said would happen to Nick Rekieta, that he would not go to jail, that he would not have a felony on his record, and that he would be living the good life.
Rackets is free.
Rackets is free.
Much to the chagrin of a bunch of Kiwi farmers.
Much to the chagrin of a bunch of people that were just very insistent that he should go to jail, that cocaine lawyer is a bad thing.
So you guys repped Riley for his Eric July case, yeah?
That's correct.
And what happened? Can you give us a little... We've talked about it a little bit on the show. A lot of people hate Riley, so I'm phrasing this as a legal issue, but the law that Eric July forced the police to prosecute him over is like a new law for Texas. Is that right?
Well, harassment isn't necessarily a new law. There's and the state tried prosecuting Riley under some older versions of it that didn't really apply.
Okay.
The version that they might have had an opportunity to was a much newer version of the statute. But even then, we were confident in winning Riley's case.
Well, what is the statute? Can you give like a description of it briefly? Because the whole thing seemed retarded to us.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So
could you imagine that you go to law school, you study law, and then a small rotund guy in a cape waddles into your office? He's like, "Hey, I need you to represent me because a big black man thinks I'm going to shave his shoulder hair." And then suddenly you're on an internet podcast, and people like us are like EFAPing it. Like, that's got to be a weird thing, right? Like, as a lawyer, you don't expect that. Low Watermark says this gets so much better as it goes on. Wait for it, people. Dick loves it when he hears it. Oh shit! And then you're on the Dick Show. Yeah, Tommy Tallarico was on the Dick Show. So,
oh shit!
The charging document that they filed into court, which I believe you had on one of your episodes, had really outlined two different ways that Riley supposedly violated the harassment statute. One was that he'd made threats of bodily injury against Eric July, and the other way they tried charging him was kind of a mishmash of two other sections that should have been completely separated, but in essence it was online repeated online communications.
Okay.
However, the section they really should have filed under should have been the one that dealt more with like internet posts, post to social media sites, stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
rather than the older direct communications or electronic communications, which really deals more with when you're just repeatedly texting somebody
Okay.
or repeatedly sending them an email directly to them.
Boom! That's what I fucking told Sean. I said, making a public post isn't the same thing as directly DMing or emailing or texting somebody.
Huh.
Sounds like I'm layman lawyer here.
I'm looking for Max. I don't know if you're familiar with this case, but Riley, who's a little goofball, him and Eric July, this guy, this illiterate guy who makes comics, they were having an online fight, calling each other gay and stuff, calling each other fat and gay. And then Riley went to Eric July's comic book warehouse and taped like $40 to the door and said he was going to shave his arm hair on his shoulders because the guy he streams and he has this gross like Brillo pad of arm hair on his shoulders.
Yeah.
So then Eric
I
July
love how he has to explain
called the
that.
police. Who's an anarcho-capitalist. He called the police,
Yeah.
and the police met him at a gas station on the outskirts of town,
Okay.
where he said that I'm like in charge of this criminal
You're the
harassment
kingpin. Yeah.
ring of making fun of him.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, is that about right? Is that about right, Mark?
Yeah, well, it was $41.
Oh, it's
$41.
$41. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
And I just want to put this out here first. We have talked to Riley, and he has given us permission to talk about the case.
Oh, okay.
Just so everybody's aware, because I know there's some little minions online somewhere. They're like, "Oh, his lawyers are talking about him and his case. They shouldn't be doing that." But yeah, it was $41.
Yeah.
My understanding, it was meant to be 50.
Oh, he fucked up his math.
I guess the 1 and the 10 came out of the wallet the wrong way.
Okay.
Riley even explained that to the lawyer, huh? It's like, by the way, it was supposed to be $50, but I only gave him.
But speaking of dollars,
Speaking of dollars, Low Watermark says, "Enjoy this, people. Good coverage. I'm hoping that F stands for Frog Tony." Low Watermark. But all right.
Niggas can be gay too, whether you like it or you love it, whether you're kissing or you're touching, you're either lust or you're clubbing. Niggas can be gay too, there ain't nothing you need to hide. Video games will really survive, tomorrow you might not be alive. Niggas can be gay too. Niggas can be gay too.
Thank you, Low Watermark. And Steven Alvarez for $5 says, "But Tony, real quote unquote lawyers and Kiwi Farms said you were wrong about both cases. If one isn't biased, you'd see both cases and grudges against them." Yeah. Both those cases, if you just looked at them objectively, both of them are fucking ridiculous. Both Nick Rekieta's case was ridiculous. Just Aaron's a little bitch for calling the cops on him, and them trying to come as hard at him, for things that were easily explained, but people really didn't want to understand the explanation right now. They'd rather believe that a 9-year-old child was just freebasing cocaine like left and right every day. Enough cocaine to kill an elephant, but that 9-year-old had that in his system. That was perfectly reasonable to them because they needed Nick to be the bad guy. It's very familiar, huh, TJ?
Yeah.
When people need someone to be the bad guy, so they just believe
Kiwi
whatever.
Farmers too. They make fun of people.
They just believe whatever it is that other people say because they need that guy to be the bad guy. And same thing with Riley. They needed Riley to be the bad guy. So, of course, it had to be trespassing. It had to be, some sort of obstruction of justice or public nuisance. They had to make up things. Despite the charges being there on the paperwork, they had to make up charges to apply to Riley in order to say that he was going to jail because they needed Riley to be the bad guy. Ridiculous. But thank you, Steven, for the $5. And what do we got for you? Hamilton says F Tony means Fat Tony since you're clearly voiced by Joe Montana. People have said I sound like Joe Montana. People have said I sound like Luis Guzman. I sound like fucking Everyone Loves Raymond. Kermit the Frog. I sound like everybody but me, apparently. So strange. So strange.
But yeah, he drew some bunnies with carrots on the money and taped it with bunny. Well, affixed it with bunny stickers to the window. And I know I've seen both James and I have spent hours scouring the internet on different forums and X and this and that, what people were saying about it from the time it happened. Yeah. And it's kind of funny. James and I would laugh almost every day because
it's so
well, people were talking about the case like they actually understood what the law was and what would have to happen. But yeah, Eric July called the police. There it is.
TJ.
Oh,
did you just say what I think you said? Oh, low watermark for 13 says this is for ad free. Hell yeah. Thank you. Low watermark. As I get rid of the ads, enjoy some more Eric July dancing.
Niggas can be gay too. Whether you like it or you love it. Whether you're kissing or you're touching. You ride the lust, I know you covet. Niggas can be gay too. There ain't nothing you need to hide. Video games won't really survive. Tomorrow you might not be alive. Niggas can be gay too. Niggas can be gay too.
How will Sturgis recover? How will Student of God recover? How will the Ripitards recover from this? Eric July called the police. Isn't that what I said from day fucking one? That Eric July
was going to pull
the police. That is the part that is the best of the Dick show this week. I think Dick will get someone to get the body cam footage. Imagine watching it. Oh, we're going to. We've put in the necessary request.
It's out there in the open. It's no secret. We've heard the 911 call.
Wait, what?
Oh, he's heard the 911 call.
Oh no!
Oh.
You have?
Oh, look at the joy in it. The only time I've seen this much joy in Dick's eyes was when he was burning Vito's guy's cradle.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
There's no dispute that Eric was the one who called.
No way! Oh, I didn't know
nobody
that.
Else called.
Oh, how do we get the 911 call? Like, can we FOIA it or whatever that's called?
You probably can. They probably would release it now.
What did he say? What did he say in the 911 call?
Well, he wanted to report basically a trespass.
Okay.
And I know you posted parts of the state's response to our motion to quash that actually, I don't know why all of Eric July's fans and supporters would think you were making something up, that the state actually incorporated the offense report to their response to our motion to quash.
Yeah.
And it clearly states Eric July called 911. He didn't even meet him at the warehouse. He went to that gas station.
Why did he do that? Why did he meet them like he's on an episode of The Wire? Why did he meet them in a gas station outside of town?
What he probably did was he probably called from his home address and wherever he lived just said, well, if he's in Plano, then you have to call the Plano police. So
okay.
And
so he drove to a gas station because it's like in the district of his warehouse to call 911. Kind of.
He's
an idiot.
He gets escorted over to the warehouse.
Like Die Hard 3 when he calls the ambulance in because he's in the right area. Okay, so he gets escorted. He gets escorted
Yeah.
from the police to the warehouse. Okay.
Yeah, he meets them over there, and they
Serious
they
business.
take the report, and so
Hey,
the officers.
now wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have so many questions. What is the mental state of the police as they're taking down what is like a totally stupid, obviously like a guy in bunny stickers? They wrote novelty scissors in the report. Like, what is the mental state of the cops in this?
So the cops, most of the street cops are kind of like, oh, I've got something to do.
Yeah,
But
right.
for the most part, when they get called out to the scene, and this happens throughout Texas, the cops that arrest you, they're not the final person investigating it.
Okay.
It actually gets turned over. And you talked about this detective on one of your podcasts about, the guy, was it Dr. or Detective Farias or whatever
Yeah,
his name was.
Detective farted my ass. I remember him. Yeah, I
yeah.
looked him up.
He doesn't even work for that department anymore.
Oh, okay. What is he? Does he work at a blowjob factory or something? At a
I
daycare?
could tell you.
You're a lawyer. You're a highly respected lawyer on a podcast being asked if a police officer now works at a blowjob factory. Does life get any better than that, TJ?
Holy shit! I wasn't expecting any of this.
It's like Dick had a little bag of candy. Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of
So
bags of candy, we have super chats.
It's exactly what we said, right? That Eric July called them. He was out and about. They're speculating that he was at home and they told him that he had to call Plano. But I think that if Eric was at home and he made a call, there would have been another call attached to the report, right? Hey, he called the whatever Denton police, and the Denton police redirected him over to Plano, right? So I think that would have been included somewhere in there. And since it wasn't, I think, again, my interpretation of what happened was the warehouse called Eric. Eric was already out by the gas station with somebody, because in the report it says picked up Eric.
I wonder who that redacted is.
And some redacted. And they I was like, oh, okay. And then he called the police from there. Hamilton says is now officially Snitchiverse Comics. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it is.
I want Bob Dylan up on stage. Who the fuck are you?
When we get that 911 call for you, and it's almost beat for beat the same as the one I made up with AI Eric all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be so good. I can only imagine, Hater, like the accuracy in which you made that fake 911 to the real life is going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Sturgis is coping. Is that what you're sending me on?
Yeah.
There's already Sturgis cope. Oh,
Already.
yeah.
How terminally online he is. Yeah.
I can only get so hard, TJ. You
Not fooling a libertarian by bringing up them bitch ass roads.
Oh no, there's a different cope. He's coping on something else. This is about the other thing. This is about the Eric July controversy, the big tweet that we read. It's not about
Right.
this.
With one star,
but he,
a one-star daycare.
He ends up after they take this report. He ends up calling Eric July.
Okay.
And has a long conversation with Eric July, which we've heard that too.
Oh my God! I had no idea this stuff existed. Because he Eric July made it a point to never talk about me, to never react to at a certain point, to never react to me. Everybody tries this route on me, it doesn't work. What was he saying in the call to the detective?
Well, this is where it gets more into kind of like the mental state of law enforcement.
Okay.
The detective is asking him, what happened? What's the backstory to this? He gives them information about you and the bunnies. and
Could you imagine? He's telling a detective, I will go on live streams and they putting bunnies in the chat, Mr. Detective Man, and this harassing. Oh, we got to get those calls. We need them.
and everything. And
did he tell them that he's responsible for the bunny stuff? That he called me a bunny in the first place?
I can't remember if he did or not, but it talked
perjury
about the bunnies.
Yeah. Okay.
Not really.
Not
And
really.
then the detective, at some point, the detective's trying to like give him advice, like, hey, this stuff happens online, like just block people.
Like
and
fucking hysterical woman advice, honey, just block them. Like just
like
close your
just
eyes.
move on,
Yeah,
right? And then he starts talking, and Eric starts like, well, there's actionable threats.
Oh God.
And this is and he tells the detective about the whole shaving the shoulder hair thing, right? And the detective's like, wait a minute, there's actual threats, like other than shaving of the shoulders.
Yeah.
He goes, well, yeah.
Oh.
And he goes, well, what are they? And he goes, well, what it is I gotta look out for my employees.
So Eric July lied to the police exactly like we said he did. The police basically said, hey, that's not actionable. Do you actually have any actionable threats? And so then he said what it is, and lied about how Riley threatened his employees. I don't know. I think maybe there might be countersuit. But at first I thought there wouldn't be, right? Just because of, he said, she said, but with a call, with actual lies,
Yeah.
The lawyer said it, yeah. If I ever get arrested in Texas, I'm calling Riley's lawyers.
Well, you see, when he was talking about actionable threats, he's saying Riley is saying that he's making actionable threats. And so he's talking about a quote that Riley made where Riley says something verbatim like, this is an actionable threat.
Yeah, Riley says the phrase,
taking that
I'm making an actionable threat.
As in, like, by saying those words, the threat, even if it's not actionable, because Riley is saying it's actionable, it's an actionable threat. And so, he's asked about the shaving of the shoulders, and it's like, all right, and what about this specific actionable threat? And then Eric, he's like, well, he's saying that it's an actionable threat. And can't name any other kind of specifics.
You heard it. Does it sound like he's lying, or that he actually believes it's an actionable threat?
No, he tells the detective that these posts in the shaving of the shoulder, he disregarded it. He claimed he didn't feel threatened.
Yeah.
But he's got to take it serious now, because now he's shown up to the warehouse at night when nobody was there.
Yeah.
And I know he went on Nick's show shortly after that. And I know Nick, I mean, I don't personally know him, but I know from watching that episode, Nick was trying to tell him, like, wait a minute, it's like a driveway into a parking lot, so it's a public space. He's like, well, it's a business. It's private. Well, no, it's a public space. Anybody has access to it. It's not like he broke in. Did he even talk to anybody? Well, no, that's not my point of contention.
Right. You do a good Eric July impression.
He kept saying that. Nick looked frustrated with him and was like, well, his lawyers might consider that a point of contention.
I'm gonna put this on there. Now it's a real good Eric July impression.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
But yeah, so that's where it all gets started. And then he has I guess he has some employee named Brandon Taylor.
Laser eyes.
Oh,
yeah. Is that the guy that
he's got one eye looking one way, and one eye he's got one eye on the money and one eye on the future, and one eye on comics and one eye on the
it looks like Superman in that.
But he ends up being in contact with the detective. So evidently Brandon is scouring X for posts from that Riley's making or anybody else is making, and he's sending him over to the detective via email.
He said that anyone else is making. So again, 100% posts from myself, EBS, probably Dick Masterson, Vito. Not Vito. Vito's a pussy about all the detractors, headquarters.
Email like every day. Every day he's sending this detective like snips from Twitter or X or whatever and saying, oh, here's another one.
Yeah, cool.
They don't know where the actual posts were made from. They don't know.
Right.
when these pictures were necessarily taken or anything.
TJ, they don't know where the posts were made from or where the pictures were taken. It's almost like those are the exact things that I said to Fat Lawyer when I go, hey, if the law is applying to where he is, as far as the Texas law, you have to actually know where he's at when he's making those things.
Yep.
Guys, it's almost like I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Anything like that. But Brandon keeps telling the detective, like, oh, we believe he's going to do this. Like, he's on his way to go urinate on Eric's grandfather's grave, which never actually ever happened.
Yeah, that was funny. They love running with that one.
Yeah.
I bought that cemetery. I'm in negotiations to buy it. I'm going to dig up his great grandfather.
From a legal standpoint, it's going to take some extra permits.
I got him. It's Trump's. I can do whatever I want. I'm in Trump's ear. I could do it. I got permits for days. I'm going to dig up his grandpa and make like a little puppet out of his bones, like a little marionette puppet, and then make him dance around for my amusement.
Make him piss on his own grave.
I'm gonna do Jeff Dunham's routine. I'm gonna make a little puppet. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a piss pouch. Is that legal?
Yeah. So they end up getting this warrant for stalking.
Yeah,
which is a felony, and then
that warrant's like retarded, right? Like these laws are for like insane people protecting like women and stuff like that. How did that get through? How do you get a warrant for these?
It's honestly not hard to get a warrant.
Really?
Yeah. Red Hoodwinked says, funny how close the speculations were to the actual events. Well, I wasn't speculating. I was working out the logistics, getting inside that Eric brain. Tony's ego can't handle being this. I can't. I'm about to explode. My head has gotten so big, knowing that I've pretty much been spot on every point.
Once you understand the hibbity-jibbity character, you can see everything play out.
Not just the hibbity-jibbity, but the laws and everything and why they don't apply and what's going on. It's almost like, again, like I study things and I look into things and I'm not just talking out of my ass. Which is why my show is as good as it is, because I put in the fucking work. And then I come out here and pretend like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing to entertain you guys. That's called showmanship.
It's not hard to get a warrant at all for anything.
Okay.
But just because someone gets arrested doesn't mean they're guilty of something.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this warrant goes out, and Riley doesn't live in Texas. He's not from Texas. The police knew that. But it got downgraded to harassment.
Okay.
And then, unbeknownst to Riley, that this warrant was out, he goes to, I don't know, some meet and greet thing that's at bar or
it was
or something.
It was a Rippaverse.
He doesn't even go inside. He
map
stays outside.
Convention.
They said it Rippaverse/map convention.
Yeah,
minor attractive people.
They just
it was in some
in.
like strip mall. It had like a CC's Pizza and this bar, and like I don't know. If I'm doing some launch of a comic book or a business thing, I don't know if I would have had it there. But
there was a Weight Watchers there too, where Neurotic's wife was for her daily appointments. That she would happen to be there at the same time. Sorry. Anyway, keep going.
So he, somebody must have said something to the manager or the owner of the bar, pool hall, and they go out and get the cops to come and say, hey, look, we just want to make sure he doesn't come into the bar. I can't, even the owner of the bar is saying, look, I can't trespass him from the whole parking lot. There's other businesses here. I just don't want him up against our windows or whatnot. Yeah. And Eric July had this, hired team of security guards wearing like the same blazers, trying to.
So wait, hold up. Did you hear that, TJ?
I did.
Eric July had a hired team of security guards in blazers. We all thought that the
guy in the suit
there was. Yeah, that wasn't the bar's guy. That was Eric's guy. That's why he knew this shit. That's why he was able to get the information, because he was working for Eric. He was an Eric security guard. He wasn't a security guard that the bar had hired.
Holy
tell the
shit!
cops like who Riley is, and
Did you catch that, Tony? Lawyer said it's not hard to get a warrant. So what it is with LawTube making it seem like it took work to get a warrant on Nick. Warrants are not hard at all. A lot of them, especially. Here's the sad reality, right? If I say something to the police can choose to believe me, even if they shouldn't, right? If I say, hey, policeman, TJ has a bunch of cocaine in his house, and they just want to fuck with TJ, they'll go, okay, we'll use that. We got Tony on record. It's not us that did it. We got probable cause, right? So same thing with like this. They just go, oh, you said it? Okay, fuck it. We need something to do. Let's go arrest Riley, right? LawTube, they want to make things sound like it's harder, so they to justify, like, no, you see, it's really hard to get a warrant, and so he got arrested, so it must be real, right? And to them, I say,
are you retarded?
Yeah. The Pope, what's up, El Papa? Says Riley's lawyer went on the Dick show. He did. The lawyers, there's two of them there. Yeah. Eric got one of the goons from Michael Jackson's Moonwalk. Confirmed. Eric July has hairy shoulders and a yellow belly. That he does. DI rules. The threat was real. It was. I'll tell you what. I'll give it to Dick. He's able to keep himself more or less together. Hearing all this bullshit, I'd be so mad. It's funny, hearing it, but afterward, I'd probably been really pissed. Like, this fucking guy, was trying to put Riley in jail over some bullshit like this.
Yeah. And then the cops go over and they're kind of like, what are we doing here? They run Riley's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. They run Riley's name and they see there's an active warrant. And that's the only reason he got arrested. He didn't get arrested at that place for trespass.
Yeah.
He didn't get arrested for harassing anybody there. The arrest was all simply because he had an outstanding warrant.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
And so, but yeah, no, I got involved in this because I've got a lot of connections with the Libertarian Party of Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And some individuals that I know through that contacted me. And they're like, yeah, this guy is claiming to be a libertarian online. He's not very libertarian.
Eric July's own people. He got betrayed by libertarians.
Betrayal!
I'm still taking LawTuber's advice over yours, Tony. No offense. None taken. Normie nerd. I am. I'm not an all-purpose kind of guy, right? I am a specific kind of guy. So if you give me a specific case, I will study it and I will give you my unexpert opinion on it, which is going to be pretty fucking accurate. But when it comes to just general like law advice, yeah, you probably should take LawTuber over me.
Dude, isn't it crazy? Like today, Eric's talking about how evil the government is, and he's an anarcho-capitalist. It's like, bro, you called the cops on someone because he made fun of you. It's not like
literally a while ago.
Not like you're in any danger. Nothing was stolen. Nothing. Just getting made fun of.
If Eric was a libertarian, oh my God, TJ, the Pope is right. Eric made the case personal to Riley's lawyers. Riley's super lawyers, the team of super fucking lawyers, the superstar, rock star, fucking world-renowned lawyers that freed Riley. They would never have gotten involved if Eric wasn't libertarian. Think about that for a second.
Wow.
Let that sink in. Riley would be in jail if it wasn't for Eric July being libertarian. Just the irony. And I love this timeline. Eric's libertarian values are the reason Riley got lawyers to fuck Eric in the ass.
Yeah.
He made $41.
Yeah. That's crazy. How are things going for libertarians in Texas? You guys gotta blue over
libertarians around the country, it's always a struggle because you get a lot of people that support the libertarian platform in so many ways, but they're stuck in this mindset of, well, they don't really have a shot at winning.
Yeah.
So I need to either vote for the lesser of two evils or or it's something like, hey, maybe next time, but this election is the most important election of our lifetimes. But like every 4 years, it's always the most important election of our lifetime. So at some point in the past, people were lying to us, right?
Yeah.
Because you keep getting the same thing every election cycle.
Everyone made it worse. I look back, and every single one made it worse, except for this. We got a lot of stuff in this one. Libertarians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we finally learned.
Ross Albright is free.
Yeah, like we give us. This is exactly what we want, and then you got it. Like those ghosts in Lord of the Rings. Like we need this, and we'll vote. But you need to do this. Okay. You can make fun of us. I know we suck, but
you can't. You really
can't. Our
guy to
present.
man.
Okay, so what did you think when Riley came in with this amazing case?
Well, I was just like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Is
this real?
Is
this
this
real life?
Really a case that's going to go forward? And sure enough, yeah, they were moving forward with it. So James and I put our heads together and we're like, well, James has practiced in Collin County a lot.
Oh, okay.
I haven't practiced there as much. I've practiced in like 39 counties in Texas.
Yeah.
Collin was not one of them.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on.
So they weren't.
We got breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh,
Guys, this is not as important as the Riley thing, but I'll forget it if I don't fucking break this news. I don't think anyone's talked about this yet. But Matt Barr says, fuck them, and they're lost. 2025. They don't want work with Chuck. I'm always down. Matt Barr has now slid up next to Eric July. He said, hey, Eric, I'll do a little rip reversing. I'll Jerry curl your shoulder hair for you, big boy. Man.
Your art is awesome looking, bud, even though you called me a pedo, bud.
Headroom Comics. Crazy. It's crazy.
You do it all for free.
I called this in chat like an hour ago. Damn, Robco guy.
Yeah, even said
point. All right. Back to the lawyers.
Collin County is not used to my antics in court anyway.
What are your court? What are your court?
That's
antics?
my theater. The courtroom is my theater.
Okay. So Riley got the right attorney. Great.
Yeah. So
did you wear a cape?
And so we drafted a lengthy motion to quash. And James called it too. He's like, we're gonna put this together, and she's probably not gonna read the whole thing. The judge, she's gonna like immediately read it and be like, all right, that's enough. Boom.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. She got through. She didn't even get through, make a ruling on any of our other sections. She was just like, I've seen enough.
It's over.
Quash.
Yeah.
And then of
it's,
course
it's quashed. That means like the information. I don't really understand what it means. Like I just say like, okay.
so the charging document no longer exists.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So the state could have refiled.
Yeah.
Okay. Or amended the information and actually made it sound legitimate, because I don't know necessarily who wrote that. I don't know if it was some paralegal who gave it to an ADA to sign, but that was atrocious writing.
It was really bad. The dude says those seem like good lawyers. From my understanding, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but they handle like really big, important cases, these gentlemen. And that they were doing this almost like as a break from the other really like actual important cases. Like, oh, let's fuck around with this like stupid case for a little bit, right? Because we need like a break from all the big serious shit that we do. And these lawyers are perfect for Riley. Heck, they're even perfect for yeah, they are. Riley said that when he met them, he was like, "These are the guys. These are the ones. These are the lawyers."
And the response to our motion to quash was pretty atrocious as well. But once that got quashed, really, there's no case to move forward until they file another document. And yet the state continued to act like they were going to go to trial. And I saw all Eric July's little fans online like, oh, no, it's still going to trial. And I'm like, yeah, look, I mean, if they file something, sure. I mean, I'll wake up, roll out of bed, and go try this case. It doesn't matter to me.
Why did they do that? Why didn't they just why did they do any of this? They just thought Riley's going to take a plea deal because it's the smart thing to do, or
that's how most district attorneys are.
They just prosecute everything.
Yeah, the prosecutors sometimes don't even look at the case. The first time you go into court, they're like, "Oh, here's a plea deal," and I'm like, "Did you even look at anything?" Yeah, we'll reject that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and what's funny is the prosecutor that wrote that that response to our motion to quash, he got reassigned somewhere else in the DA's office.
Actually, he doesn't work at that specific DA's office
anymore. Oh, okay. Oh, you found out
elsewhere. Yeah, I think
they got rid of the ADA.
Oh,
thanks
no.
to Riley.
He went to go.
Right, Riley, the officer. Do you understand? The police officer that had Riley arrested, he gets transferred. The ADA that's trying this, he's gone. Right, Riley just caused all kind of terror all throughout the Texas legal system. People are getting fired, they're getting transferred, they're getting fucking removed.
Go be a felony prosecutor elsewhere. He had actually been doing it for he's been a lawyer for at least 11 years.
Yeah.
And so later, of course, they sub in somebody else to fill his place. And so eventually we see, they give us some notice. And, I see the bar card numbers, and it's like, those are pretty fresh bar numbers. And so we look them up and we see, oh, wow. They've almost been attorneys for 2 whole months now.
Oh, this was their first case of their prosecution of Riley?
It was probably going to be their first trial.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, it's good for Riley, but I think everyone's disappointed that there wasn't actually a trial.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. I was looking forward to a trial.
Yeah.
I was so looking forward to a trial.
Mm-hmm.
Because unlike what Eric July's fans all think, he would have had to testify.
Oh,
that would have been so good.
You can't just get somebody up on other people on the stand and been like, oh yeah, Eric July felt threatened. You actually have to have it from the horse's mouth. We have this thing in the United States called the Confrontation Clause of the 6th Amendment. And then we also have our own version in the Texas Constitution. So if you're going to make an accusation you felt threatened, guess what? You're going to have to take the stand.
DJ, it's almost like that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to Fat Lawyer, I said the same thing. I said, you can't have other people because it would be hearsay, right? It has to come from, as the lawyer just said, the horse's mouth. Literally,
Hipple's
DJ,
mouth even.
every fucking step of the way, I was right. And the Ripitards were wrong. Every time we do this, people doubt me. They say Tony don't know what he's talking about. And he's a fool. He's an idiot.
Just the Talarico days.
And then invariably, we get something like this dropping, right? Because until the case happens, until the lawyers come out, until there's a final verdict, people can always have that doubt. They can always have that we're not sure, right? We don't believe you, Tony. But then when this happens, there's no doubt. There's no doubt anymore. Tony's right. Confirmed. Tony knows what the fuck he's talking about. And you know what's funny about this? All those people who doubted, all those people who called me an idiot, who said I don't know what I'm talking about, they'll just scatter the wind. Suddenly, they're no longer interested in the case, TJ. Also, we did hit 100. I just saw it. Popped up briefly, but we hit 103.
No!
So, congratulations for hitting 100. Have an advertisement.
We did a wraparound. We've also got a magnet wraparound. Gonna do another wraparound here. We got a magnet.
Sturgis.
I like this one the best.
She likes the Sturgis one.
Wait.
No, it was drawn by a proper artist.
He's got a weird fetish, apparently.
No, but you could see these. No, cover him with the fucking pins.
Holographic.
So cool. So many stickers. I gotta put. Look, he's gonna punch you. This one I have to put on my mic. I love him. Yeah. So get e-stickers.
So, fellas, get your ladies a Fabulous Frogman bikini. Oh, we got to play the song for the 100 viewer hype.
Niggas can be gay too. Whether you like it or you love it. Whether you're kissing or you're touching. You're right or lust, I know you got it. Niggas can be gay too. There ain't nothing you need to hide. Video games won't really survive. Tomorrow you might not be alive. Niggas can be gay too. Niggas can be gay too.
Yes, they can. Don't forget, guys, if you want to buy all those lovely products that were shown off, you can do so right at our shop. I'll put the link in the chat before we get back to the video. Go buy some stickers. Did you hear? Stickers. It'll make the lady happy. It'll make the lady buy the buttons.
Check out Mercenary Guild too. Our good men.
I mean, the implication is kind of, let's see if we can do it. That's the kind of, I mean, I'm not like I have this mental disorder where I have to just kind of say what the implications of things are, like compulsively. And it just seems like to me, that he would have to testify, the implication is that somebody would accelerate it to a point where he would testify in court using these pre-established parameters and conditions. Just seems like to me that's what somebody would do. I don't know, though. I've been wrong in the past.
Somebody on Twitter, maybe Vicky or someone like that.
Oh, yay, Vicky!
Suck it!
Or somebody else. They did like a Google AI search. Does the victim have to testify? And then, the AI tells them, no, they don't. And so they're like, well, there we go.
There you go. I couldn't believe they were saying that. That's so stupid. Like, what do you mean he doesn't have to testify? He said he's afraid of this guy, and that's why they're going to put him in jail. What the fuck are you talking about?
So, folks, don't use AI for your legal advice. It doesn't usually pan out too well.
Why are people so dumb when they're talking about the law?
Oh, wow.
Like,
they were on
what the hell is that?
drawing with
well,
AI.
they've convinced themselves that they know something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not just that they convince themselves that they know something. It's because, like I said, throughout the theme of the night, they need someone to be a bad guy. Vicky needed Riley to be a bad guy because she was all in on Riley being a bad guy and Eric July winning this, right? So she needed any little excuse to make Riley the bad guy. And AI was good enough for her.
I had a client come in and tell me one time, hey, I want you to file this motion and this motion and this motion. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And that thing doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, no, it does. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I said, well, evidently, if you think that's something that I don't know.
Yeah.
And so you must have been talking to some other attorney that knows way more than me. So I suggest you go back to that law firm of Google and Yahoo and hire that guy. And once I called him out, I was like, "No, man, you're right. I'll stay with you."
Yeah,
but
that was just
don't try to get all your actual legal advice for your own case or anything from AI or necessarily from Google, because I guarantee you're going to miss something.
Yeah, and try thinking about it in terms of like, do you think that's what should happen? Do you think if fat guy making fun of a ex gangbanger should go to prison? Does that sound like something that is going to happen? Because it doesn't. It's because if you think that, you're an idiot.
Well, so Collin County is very much Republican.
Yeah.
And like, I so wanted to do an opening statement of like, folks, what are we doing here about mean tweets? Like, if somebody makes a mean tweet and calls somebody a name on Twitter or X, like, does that mean they're guilty of a crime?
Mm-hmm.
And if, when the blank stares start looking at me like, what's he talking about? I guess Donald Trump should be prosecuted in Collin County for mean tweets.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's so ridiculous. The whole, whatever happened to sticks and stones may break my bones,
You know
Right?
what? That was a lie that we told people so we could say mean things to them. It's
Yeah.
actually it's words are hurt way more, and I know because I do it. I would way rather come up with a nickname for somebody than break their arm. The arm will heal. The nickname will not.
Dick is so on point with that because Homeless Larry is a nickname that I gave to 10LG. Everybody refers to him now, TJ. I was on Drunken Peasants and I said,
Even Drunken Peasants, yeah.
I said, hey, yeah, because they were watching a video and Sturgis had said something about the moist back. And they're like, what's that? What's that? I was like, oh, that's me. He's talking about me, right? Like just because Homeless Larry had called me a wetback, and now they say moist back to get around the terms of service, right? And without hesitation, Ben knew exactly who Homeless Larry was. He goes, yeah, Homeless Larry and Sturgis make a cute couple. Like, he didn't ask. He was like, well, who's like, he knew. I said Homeless Larry, and they're like, boom, I know exactly who that is. Mean nicknames work, but they got to be good. They got to have a little tinge of truth, and they got to be something that really bothers the person that you call it, because that's how you make it stick, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Is this maybe they'll be around too?
Yeah. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And here's the thing: James and I were still ready, like I said, ready to go to trial, even though no trial could happen without a charging document.
Yeah.
So we could have rolled in there on that trial date, and the only reason the trial date stayed up online, and everybody's like, "No, it's not dismissed. It's not dismissed. It's still trial." It's just because the judge hadn't gone in and removed the date off the calendar.
Right.
That's all. It was a clerical thing.
Boom! Exactly what I said. Again, another point where I was right.
There was nothing that was going to happen on that day. But these new prosecutors, they started filing notices like they were still had a case. They wanted our notice of experts. So that's why I put you and Dick Ricada on there as experts.
Do you think Eric's general manner of speaking and inability to wear anything other than a tank top would have gone over well in front of a jury?
Well, I was going to ask you about super chats and stuff because they kept talking about that in the offense report.
Oh yeah,
like he started sending super chats and whatever. So we were going to talk about you guys to talk about super chats and
was it?
We were sent the super chat too.
Look at that. Sticks and stones. Eric's like going to call the popo on you. Yeah, buddy. I so wish, man, this was my one shot because I know for a fact that communications between me and Riley were part of the subpoenas and everything, right? So something with my name or with my handle from Twitter, hey, on this date, Riley had said this in a DM to Tony, or Tony had said this to Riley, or Tony said this, and Riley then replied to it on Twitter. Something, but I would have been right there, would have been in a fucking court record without me being on trial, which would have been really nice to have as a memento. It's that close, TJ, that close.
I want Bob Dylan up on stage. Who the fuck are you?
And other things. Authenticate videos that you guys have posted online.
Yeah. Riley did it. Riley did that. He did those things that you guys are saying he did. That guy did go take a picture in the grave. He did piss on it, actually. He didn't take a picture of that. That's not in the picture, but he told me that he pissed on it. So there you go. I pissed on it too. I mailed him. I froze some piss and mailed it to him. And he pissed it out of a fake penis onto the grave.
So yeah, they
I bought the property next to the graveyard, and I'm gonna dig down and dig over and drill a hole in the coffin and pull Isom Knox's bones out, and then I'm gonna bring them out the side like a sideways drill. Is that legal?
Probably not. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Why is a lot of podcasts don't have this many legal issues? It's like weird that we do constantly have retarded legal issues hanging over our heads.
Well, the country is very litigious.
Yeah.
People just want to sue people left and right for stuff, and evidently called police for getting money taped to their window. I mean, I would love for Riley just to like plaster the windows of my house with dollar bills and 20s and hundreds. I prefer hundreds.
Is that legal? Is it legal to go to someone's house and tape $100 bills to their front door?
Yeah, pull up.
Oh, it said it.
It's good to know. How many hundreds makes it illegal? If someone were to do that, how many hundreds would make it a crime?
Oh, I wouldn't be calling the police on you. I just want you to pull up, put some money on my window.
Yeah.
Same. Come to Pennsylvania.
But yeah, and that's
my
the other
windows
thing.
already.
Eric was going on with this whole pull up thing, and I saw the video where he was going on like, I'm not hiding behind a microphone. Pull up. Let's do confrontation.
Yeah. Right.
And then the next, like another podcast later, he's like, oh, well, that's not what it meant. That's not what pull up means. It just means let's have a conversation. Right.
Eric, if I remember correctly, the original pull-up video is no longer publicly available.
Oh, really?
You had to get I
wonder why.
An industrious, anonymous Twitter user known as Hebitude.
Hebitude's great.
To collect.
Shout out to Hebitude. He would have made it in the fucking court too.
This now publicly unavailable video for us, because I remember one of my first thoughts when just seeing this case was, well, we need this original pull-up video in all of its context so that Eric July can't like weasel out of it and say, well, that's only like a portion of it.
Yeah.
Because and it was just as bad as it sounded. I mean, there was no context that could show me otherwise, that it was just, well, I meant to come to my location to have a cordial discussion about our problems.
No, he always wants to fight. Anytime anybody says anything, it's like, let's fist fight. Like, no, thanks.
He threatened me with a fist fight, and then when I agreed, he blocked me on Twitter.
And he's threatening other people too. There was some other guy who critiqued him, and he invited him on a show with him.
Yeah,
and was telling that guy. So next time you and I are at the same location, make sure to come up with here. But I bet you won't, or something like that.
I will. If you attack me, I'm kicking you right in the balls, though, and then I'm pulling hair. So that's what happens.
See, that gets when you're inviting somebody to do something. It takes that whole criminal element out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I walked into.
That's exactly what I said, and that's exactly why the Ripitards and Eric were so adamant that pull-up didn't mean that. That's why they were trying to spin the pull-up as something else, because when you invite it, it's no longer being attacked. It's a mutual understanding. It's the same thing when harassment, right? Harassment is one-sided. If you engage with the harassment, it's no longer harassment. It's not just two idiots yelling at each other.
Into your studio and said, "Hey, Dick, punch me in the face."
Okay.
And you're like, "All right, well, screw it. I'm going to punch Mark in the face." And you punched me. I can't then turn around and be like, Dick punched me.
Yeah.
Well, everybody just saw you online say, punch me in the face. Like,
oh, shit. The lawyer said if someone says I can punch them and then I go do it, it's legal. TJ, pretty sure a lot of people have said for me to come beat them up.
Apparently, yeah.
You consented to that.
Maybe in California you could sue me for that, but probably not Texas.
I don't know. I mean, is there any courthouses still standing out there? Are they burnt down? Or?
No. They're still up. We did lose a couple high schools, which if I was I got to be happy when a school burns down because so many kids are going like, yeah, awesome.
Can Riley countersue for expenses? Riley could potentially countersue for vexatious litigation. I can't speak. Basically, trying to have someone arrested or put through the legal system as a means of punishment is not legal, right? I can't just hey, I have a bunch of money, so I'm gonna sue TJ, make his life complicated by making him have to go to court and stuff. Just because I could, right? It's not legal. So then he could sue me for that thing. Basically, he had no case. He was just doing this to fuck with me. And with Eric July pretty much admitting that there was no actionable threats and a lot of this was just him bullshitting, I think Riley might have a good case, but it would cost him money. He would have to raise a bunch of money again to get lawyers to then sue Eric and hope that he wins, right? It's still a roll. It's still, when you go to court, still a roll of the dice.
It's up in the air.
Yeah. That's only if the offender consented to or asked for the punishment. Well, a lot of people say, well, come get me, come fight me. Remember Lunga? Lunga said, if you show up here, prepare to get beat up. I said, so you're inviting me there, right? So you're saying if I can come there as long as I'm willing to get beat up. So then that's an invitation. He's like, no. If you say come here and you'll get beat up, then you're saying I can't come there. I just have to worry about getting beat up, and I'm okay with that part of it. So let's go, right? Surely, I just went over that fan art.
But it sucks for me because my wife's a teacher, so she got an extra week of winter break, which, you know, I had told myself that I would have my me time again, and I get surprised with the wonderful blessing of us having another Christmas week together, 24 hours a day, which I had to mentally, you know what I'm saying, Max.
Did your honeydew list get longer?
I have my honey don't list. I'm not. We don't have a honeydew list around here. Anyway, thank you guys for defending Riley and seeing this case for being retarded as it was. It is. I think even little wins are important. So it was cool that Riley didn't have to take the plea and have that on his record and just get gloated on and get that spiked in his face forever by Eric and his stupid fans. So it was really cool. Thank you.
So as I say, the state was still trying to go on with it. The state subpoenaed Eric.
Oh, we're gonna get to the good stuff. Also, stop this real quick. Riley looked at the face of fucking jail. He was looking jail right in the eye, and he didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. In all the conversations I had with Riley, I can assure you, both on screen and off screen, both behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, Riley was adamant that he was willing to go to jail to prove his point. And he was going all the way. Riley was never going to back down. He was never going to take a plea. He was never going to flinch. He was all in. So you gotta respect that.
Hell yeah.
Oh, really?
Ways. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Eric would not return their phone calls.
Eric wouldn't return their phone calls. That almost sounds like someone was dodging a subpoena. It almost sounds like exactly what I said Eric was doing.
Sounds like people I've seen in real life do. Holy fucking shit.
Forget real life. I literally said Eric had to have been dodging the subpoena because they got the other guy with it.
Yeah.
I literally said, yeah, they would have called him and said, hey, you had a subpoena here. They would have went to his house. But they could never find him. Why is that? Because he was dodging it. Exactly like I said.
Burgess is braver than Eric July.
He's laying low. You called it. Every single. I don't think there's anything left. TJ, I'm empty. My ball sack is just flittering in the wind because I've just exploded everywhere with all the winds that I've just taken in this thing. Just.
I keep muting myself because I'm coughing from all the laugh. Holy shit.
Eric the Lie is now an official nickname. Eric doing the 5Ds. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Man, sometimes I can't even believe myself. It's like the eyes, they just roll back in my head, and I just start saying things. It's like I'm possessed by the spirit of just knowing shit, and I just say it, and then it just comes true. TJ, you ever notice that I just say shit? And it's like the craziest, wildest shit. But like, oh, Nick Recado's not going to jail despite all the evidence and all the cocaine in his house, and he's never going to get fucking anything other than a slap on the wrist. And everyone goes, this is crazy, Tony. And then it happens. I said, hey, Eric July is dodging a subpoena with no evidence. I had nothing, TJ. I just pulled it from the fucking ether. The world just gave me that knowledge. And I gave it to all of you. And there were some of you in this audience that doubted me. 92 people watching, and there was at least 90 of you who doubted me. Doubt no more. Doubt no more. Because when I tell you things, believe me, no. I don't just say shit. I know shit.
Because the prosecutor's office was trying to reach out to him, and they do this in every case. If I called the police on James and I said James did something, and they go get and arrest him, once it gets to the court system, the prosecutor and somebody who's called a victims assistance coordinator would reach out to me saying, "Hey, look, James's case is in the court now. We're thinking about offering him probation or something to that effect. Like,
okay,
how do you feel about that? Right?
Wow.
Are you okay with that?"
I didn't know that.
And then it gives them an opportunity to find out for me if I'm like, nah, screw it. I don't want to go testify against James, or I don't want anything to do with it, or hey, you guys handle it how you want. But yeah, he wasn't returning their phone calls. And that was information that the prosecutors actually told us. We kept asking, have you guys been in contact with Eric July? They're like, yeah, he's not returning our phone calls.
Dude, this is unbelievable.
Again, I think this just adds to the validity of Eric July using the court system to try to punish Riley.
Yeah.
Vexatious litigation. I think the case is strengthening. Eric, the cowardly lion. Ooh, it's close. It's close. I don't know if it's. We're almost there. I think we're almost there, but it's not quite.
Fuck them hoe ass roads, man.
Yeah. You are a man beyond time and space, Frog. I am. Because I'm a frog. Frogs know we just have an innate connection to everything. You know, time is a flat circle, right? We just perceive it as moving forward. So I'm just tapping into things that already happened before all of you guys. That's all it is.
Man, you guys got some good shit. So he's dodging. Eric's acting like he's getting called by creditors. Dodging.
Who's the useless guy? You talking about TJ, or who we talking about in this scenario? Because Sean's the audio engineer on the top. Below him is Value Select. He's a YouTuber guy thingy, and then you got Dick on the right, and then the two guys on the TV back there. You can barely see them. Those are the lawyers. And then, like I said, TJ's next to me. I'm not sure which guy is the one you're saying is useless, but there you go. I think I cover everybody.
Dodging subpoenas.
Yeah. So then they the day they issued the subpoenas, I think the constable served one of them.
Yeah.
And that was the same day they filed their motion to dismiss, I believe. And then after we've already been told it's getting dismissed, like two more subpoenas are served like the following Monday. And I'm like, what is going on? Why are they even wasting? Like, what is going on? But the only one that didn't get served was Eric July's. So I don't know. That just means the constable couldn't find him at the location that they put on the subpoenas, which was the actual warehouse address.
That motherfucker. He started all this shit and then ducked having to testify. So they couldn't.
Which is actually kind of funny because those subpoenas are part of the public record. And I know Eric July just recently had made a post. I think it was on X, and he was showing the city of Plano like occupancy certificate for his business.
Yeah,
he had it all blacked out, like so you couldn't see like the address, and he was like, he said like the bitch ass city or you know whatever.
Yeah,
took forever to get this for me, but I mean. You can go down to the city records and pull an occupancy certificate. So I don't know what he's trying to hide his business address for.
He's an idiot.
Not to mention the state of Texas just plastered it on subpoenas.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's trying to be so secretive.
Because it's a private business location. It's got 3 fences.
Over things that are in the public domain. Like,
yeah. It's because he's an idiot. That's the answer for everything. Has Riley heard
this is the way
that you guys have heard?
This is the way.
I can't remember if we played.
I'm pretty sure we would have played it for him.
We got to get that.
Yeah, we played some. He came to our office a few times from out of state to visit, and we had a lot of conversations on the phone with him. But no, Riley was great. He had faith in us and let us just do what we do.
Well. he's free now, like everyone else.
From the very beginning, though, he was willing to go to jail, willing, ready, but not afraid that it would actually happen.
Yeah, I was real careful when I was talking to him because, like, I don't want to accidentally influence somebody into taking more risk than they're comfortable with. But when he has been from the beginning, like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. I'll go to jail for 2 months or for this or whatever. I'll go to jail for the weekend. I don't give a fuck.
And that's the thing I want to clear up too for any of Eric July's followers, because I know somebody had posted online, like they went to like they were talking about like he's going to get a minimum of 10 years in prison. Like,
dude, somebody's like
that's not a thing here in the state of Texas.
Somebody's like a house cleaner for when like people go to jail or they die, and they were cleaning out a house and found out that the guy was like an Eric July fan because he had one of his comics. So he sent me pictures of the house, and it was like it was just disgusting, like hoarder tier piles of debris and trash. That's the mentality of the people that you're dealing with.
Yeah, like Sturgis.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, there was and there were some other online forums that I wouldn't say necessarily were pro Eric July, because they actually bashed Eric July supporters too, as well as Riley and stuff, but they didn't really know what they were talking about either when it came to.
I wonder what that forum was, DJ.
Oh, I wonder. Yeah,
the legal issues. We were following that almost every day. They put my picture up there as Riley's defense attorney. They put the elected DA of Collin County up there as like, this is the prosecutor, and he wasn't the actual prosecutor.
No,
the elected DAs don't ever do anything really. So, but yeah, no, it was a fun few months of entertainment. But yeah, like James was saying, like Riley would have gone to jail if he had to.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would ever come to that regardless. I couldn't see a jury putting him in jail anyway.
No.
Texas is one of the few states that the jury is allowed. You can elect to have the jury punish you instead of the judge. And it's got to be unanimous.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, yeah, I couldn't see a jury. The jury would have been so bored with this case and like right in the opening statements.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even seen evidence. They're like, what are we doing here? And they probably, if anything, would have gave credit time served with like a small fine, if anything.
Yeah.
But I honestly wasn't afraid of Riley being found guilty.
Well, he's free. I really appreciate what you guys did, and appreciate you calling in. I don't know. Let's hope that let's hope Riley needs you again. He might. I hope he saves your number. He might do.
Well, he's got our number, that's for sure.
Cool.
But you know, we're only licensed in Texas, and I can do stuff in federal court too. But
oh, maybe he'll do something that needs you in federal court next. Then. All right. Thanks for calling in, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Max, what do you think?
I think that is time that could have been spent getting better at making comics.
Oh,
yeah.
Going through the rigmarole for what?
I want those recordings.
I'd love to hear that. The 911 call.
Me too.